it's Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story Podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Your Success Story. This is Ivy Slater with you today, and I'm really excited to have Nicole. I did not check on the pronunciation of your name.
It's Zeien-Cox.
Zeien-Cox.
Yep.
So Nicole and I are gonna chat, but here's just a couple of highlights of Nicole and her background and who she is and what she's done, because it's pretty dynamic and really moving for me. So by trade, you're a copywriter, a marketing consultant, a best-selling author, a keynote speaker. You manage production for Bold Be Bold Ventures, which is a great organization that I know of, a project coordinator for several other organizations. You are truly a millennial entrepreneur, which I so respect. And back in the day, I started being a business owner early in my life, about 30, 31. So I love that I get to meet other business owners early in their lives as they're building what could be their first or their only business of many. But I want to talk a little bit about, you've also are an amazing woman because you wrote a book that's called Fosters to Fosters in 30 Days, Becoming a Best-Selling Author in 24 Hours. And that's your passion piece. And I think this is really important. And I think as women business owners and women on career paths, as we grow and scale our own lives, that we have something that drives us, that something is our purpose, that is really what we're about. So welcome, Nicole. Thanks for taking time out of which I know is a hell of a busy day for you at all times, managing many, many different things, as well as your passion project. So let's jump in. First of all, question one, where did you start out with as far as jumping into the entrepreneurship bus? Or plane or train that we're on.
Yeah, I think, it was about a year and a half ago. If I had to put a date on it, I believe it was last March, around there, February, March timeframe. So it's been a relatively quick journey. Before that, I was doing the college thing, full-time student, full-time worker, and I just had that burning desire that I needed more and I had to do more. So I kind of took the plunge, not knowing what to expect or not even a real plan in place. And yeah, things just kind of started falling into place, thankfully. But it's been amazing. So yeah, about a year or so now.
And what drove you to, take this path versus go get that job, which it's great. There's nothing wrong with the job. It's just curiosity of what chose you down this path versus the other.
Yeah, well, there was a couple things. Any job I took, I always excelled. My last job in particular, I was a claims intake specialist. I got promoted right away. Everyone I was with was at least 20 or so years older than me. And I learned so quick. And every time, I'm getting something thrown at me, I just excel at it. And I get so bored and I need more. And so a typical job, I just don't blend in well because it's the same repetition and I'm not learning more. And, I'm just always a student by nature. So for me, I just have to always be working towards something else. So that was a big thing. And around that time frame, my younger sister, who I was adopted with, we found out she was pregnant. And that was really my driving force. Like, hey, this is my first, real niece or nephew. Come to find out it's twin girls, actually. So it's just been amazing. And they were my biggest force just because our background, where we came from, I just saw those little girls as Jessica and I, so little in the foster care system. And I wanted a good life for them. I wanted them to be financially stable, happy, just surrounded by love. And I didn't want to be working full-time, school full-time, have them doing that. So just kind of creating a life for them down the road.
So what I'm hearing is the birth of your two nieces was a piece of the motivation that said, gee, if I'm building a business, I can build it and be a support to them, be a support to your sister, and build a business which fulfills it all.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, the day they were born, I was interviewed on a podcast. So right after they were born, I went into like one of the hospital rooms. It was a funny story, but yeah. So I mean, I'm always building my business on the go. No matter where I'm at, I'm always working of some sort.
So share a little bit about your background, and you came out of foster care. You're adopted. You have an adopted sister that is your sister by heart, and that's what matters in life. Share a little bit about your background and experience and how this has driven you to make such a huge difference in the world and in a system.
Yeah, so I mean, backing up a little bit, I was initially in foster care at 2, and then my younger sister Jessica was 1. And prior to that, our parents just really struggled with addiction. They weren't fit to be our mom and dad. And my dad went to prison, and my mom really realized, hey, I can't care for these girls. I want a better life for them. So she voluntarily put us in the system. We were in 2 different foster homes before we were adopted at 4 and 5. So that was our forever family. But when I hit my teen years, and kind of all through that, I really struggled with that sense of belonging because, I was old enough to know, hey, these are strangers. This isn't my mom. It's not my dad. And I just really struggled with fitting in with that family, even though they were loving. And, it's just really hard. And I always had this stubbornness about me. I always wanted it my way or the highway. And I think a lot of that.
Wait, so you're a real teenage girl from what I'm hearing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If we really get into my story, I had a wild teen years. I mean, I ran away from home. I was in detention centers. And yeah, I was almost that kid where, she's going nowhere. She's going to be in jail or pregnant. All those things were said to me. And I kept hearing all that negativity and, oh, you're going to be just like your birth mom and all these things. And it made me so mad. And I kind of got that burning desire, and I started being more independent, and I just wanted to provide for myself. So I moved out early on. I mean, I graduated high school a whole year early, started working full time. And yeah, that really shaped me. I mean, mentally, I wanted to beat the odds, and I wanted to be more where I came from. And thankfully, that's really carried with me to this day.
So the work you're doing to affect change on a holistic level, tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so my main passion is really educating, advocating, and inspire for foster care and adoption. I mean, if it wasn't for my adopted parents, who knows, what would happen to my sister and I. If we were left with our mom, there's just no telling what could have happened. So I'm so grateful, we had that opportunity to be, raised in the country, kind of farm life, and grow up in a small town. And to me, it's so important because there's so many kids that they never get a home and they never get any sense of belonging or love. And so that's my main thing, just really promoting that. And I work with a lot of at-risk teens, and I can't even tell you how many times, people message me or parents, asking for guidance. And that's really where my heartfelt work is. That's my passion work, as I call it.
And in taking the role of being a CEO and building a business.
That piece of it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. You mean that the job that funds everything.
Yes. So, as we kind of spoke in the beginning, I'm so diversified, and, a lot of people over this short time have, they tell me, hey, follow one course to success or put your all into one thing. And that's just not how I operate. I have to be doing so many different things to stay sane, if that makes even any sense, because I'm such a busy bee go-getter. And yeah, so I manage the 2 companies, absolutely adore them, love them. It's, one's in the education space, one's in the podcasting, arena, technology. So I'm always learning in that piece. And then, my own business. So I do a lot of copywriting, brand consulting, marketing. And that's just so fun for me to, bring my storytelling aspect and my writing kind of sense into that, and just help business owners scale, grow their business, and make it more enjoyable for their clients. Everybody loves a good story.
And I think, there's a great point here because, the expression goes out there that content is king. Every business needs content now where, we're so content driven.
Yeah.
Yet, as business owners, if we're consistently just creating content, we're not in the ability to grow and scale, which then comes as an asset to having you as a supplier, as a vendor, as a resource giving us as business owners the ability to grow and scale, and staying focused on our financial plan, our sales plan, our marketing plan, and having a key resource in our back pocket. Or in our
Exactly.
right-hand pocket.
Exactly. And you know what's so funny? I even struggle with that. I mean, I swear every single human on this planet struggles with creating their own content. It's hard when you're right in front of it, and to get, into that creative space. I do enough to keep afloat, but I'm really good at doing it for other people. It's, it's kind of a catch 2020. It's funny.
So basically you're the cliche, like many of us are, of a shoemaker without shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And for the 20 some odd years I was in the printing industry, I was a printer without a brochure. And I had, $1 million business, but I had a damn looking good business. I had a damn good looking business card.
That's awesome. And it is, again, it's just sometimes when you're so close to something, it's hard to step back. And if that's not your specialty zone, then it just makes sense to outsource it.
So one of the things I like to ask is, what to date, okay, because there's a huge future in front of all of us. What is a great success story? What is one of the things that you've seen come together that some of our listeners could say, wow, in seeing that, and not, in being able to string it together, what they could learn from it?
Yeah, I mean, taking my own personal journey within, a matter of a year, I completely turned my life around. It doesn't matter my age or anything. It's, if you make that decision, you can do whatever you set your mind to. And I think we hear that so much, but until we see case studies or real things in front of us, it's, we don't think like, oh, I could change my life. So if you're bored and stuck in that 9-to-5 rut, or you're just not happy, you have to do something that makes you happy. And for me, I knew I was stuck in that job. I was excelling at it, making great money, but I wasn't enjoying it. I went to work, punched the clock, came home, I was tired, doing my schoolwork, and I sat there, I'm like, this is no life. This isn't what I want. I want to travel. So I made the decision, hey, I'm going to put my life story out there. I'm going to start my own personal brand. I'm going to see what happens. It's scary, but if you take the jump, you can make it happen. And just where I came from, my background, even statistically, I shouldn't have even graduated college, and I shouldn't have done this and that. And, I overcame all those odds, and I'm still thriving to do that. So, no matter where you come from, who you are now, you can always push yourself forward and create a new life for yourself.
What an amazing mentor and role model you are for young people navigating young challenges, and sometimes the challenges that are, you're end up in that is of no fault to your own. It's circumstances that's happened with parents or loved ones and relatives in life. And you are such a strong role model of being able to build your life and your destiny because you want to and are determined to. It takes me back, and it's a very, very different story. But when I was navigating early on in the printing industry, and the women were receptionists and like bookkeepers and assistants to assistants, and now I'm like pounding the pavement in sales, and they're like, oh, no, women don't do this. Women don't do this. It's like, no, women didn't do this. Now. And so you can, we all have choices, and this is what I'm hearing from you. We all have choices. Sometimes it doesn't seem like a choice, and it is a choice. And we can create our own destinies, and we can create the life we want that's important to us.
Exactly.
You can choose to be held back from many, and that there's many reasons that are not valid, but it is still a choice.
Right. I agree. And everyone has their own story, and everyone has their traumas and setbacks. And, that's why if anyone here reads my book, I'm so raw and honest to the point where some people were like, how did you write that? How did you put yourself out there? And I knew if I wasn't authentic and real and went through every single hardship I went through, and then showed, hey, now this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. You can do this too if this happened to you. And I think that's just very important. because we can make a choice. I could sit there and be sad and depressed and, think, why aren't things different? And not saying I didn't, my teen years, that's what happened. And that's why I rebelled. And I kind of spun out of control because I had all these emotions and I didn't know what to do with them. And now, knowing what I know now, it's all about personal development and pushing yourself forward and challenging yourself and overcoming those odds. And yeah.
Has there been a particular relationship?
Sorry, what was that?
Has there been a particular relationship that has made an impact?
I would say, a lot of my mentors now. So, my family, I kind of mentioned in the beginning, they're awesome, but they're just so small town, so small minded. You either work in a factory or you go to college, get the job. My lifestyle, they're like, what are you doing? We don't understand it. What's wrong with you, kind of thing. And so really mentors that have came into my life, and Chris and Alan are great examples. That those are the ones that push me forward, because my dreams and my ideas, they're not crazy to them. Excuse me, they're not crazy to them, and they're like, hey, yeah, like, how do we make that happen? We're gonna get you there. And same with my other mentor, Brandon T. Adams. When I had this idea for my book and everything, he was like, okay, yeah, let's get it done in 30 days, da da da. And I'm like, what? So he pushed me to do that, and hey, I don't back down from a challenge, so I did it. But yeah, mentors, people that are like-minded, you surround yourself with them, and the sky's the limit. But if you surround yourself around people that don't get you and you're not on the same wavelength, it's going to be really challenging to succeed or, even be happy.
So tell us about the book. First of all, tell us the name of it, how we could find it.
Yeah, so my book, Foster to Fosters, it is on Amazon. Sometimes people ask me for personalized signed copies, so you can email me or reach out on social media, and I can send you a signed copy as well. I love doing that. It's fun to write little notes in there.
I agree.
I know, I'm like, oh, you can get it on Amazon, but it's just boring. They go on there and order it. And so you can do that. All my social media is @ Nicole Zeien-Cox. I'm sure we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, it's all going to be in the show notes.
So don't worry,
listeners. All Nicole's information is going to be in the show notes. You can reach out to Nicole. She will sign a copy of her book for you personally.
I love doing that. It's so fun. But then, yeah, my website's NicoleZeien-Cox.com. I'm really versatile. Anytime, people reach out, I always respond as my schedule allows, but I will get back to you.
I love it. And, you're a busy woman. You within your business, you have your own business. You also, within your business, work and support other businesses in their growth and scaling as production managers in a variety of other ways, as well as you have your passion work, which you show up 100% on, as well as you're dedicated to your two nieces and being a role model for them. And this is what her success story is about. Ladies and a bunch of the guys who listen in, it's not about doing everything right. It's not about doing everything perfect here at her success story. It's about doing. Mm-hmm. And it's in the journey of doing is the journey to success. And we've all had our challenges, and they all look different, and one doesn't make another look better or easier. It's what you do from the experience that makes us the people we are today.
I love that.
So
beautifully spoken.
Thank you. I have to say, it has been, such a joy in getting to know you. We met through Alan and Chris, and we've been able to have these conversations and connect on different podcast levels as well as other opportunities, and to watch a young, ambitious, and damn smart woman take the reins and run with it and see you conquer your journey and be a leader is a beautiful thing to watch. And I cannot thank you enough for joining us on her success story today, and taking time out of what I know is a damn busy schedule out there.
Thank you.
And so you want to check out Nicole, you want to check out her book, Foster to Foster, you want to check out her website, and reach out to her. She's an amazing woman, an amazing leader, and a leader for young women as well as women who don't realize how young we all are and can still do as much as we want. our lives is our own infinity to take control of.
I agree. Yes.
So thanks for being on Her Success Story, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing.
And remember to download not just today's, but to subscribe to Her Success Story so you can see all the upcoming episodes coming out, as well as listen to a bunch of back episodes. Last month, we had some highlights from some really successful men in honor of Father's Day, so you might want to check those out and share those with the men in your life. And in our journey to success, stay tuned for more wonderful interviews, some great content, and sharing the journey to success together. Thank you.